Okay, so let's look at the Peloponnesian War. Peloponnesian Wars, 431 to 404 BC. We've got Athens in one corner. We got Sparta in the other. Ding, ding. So what happened? All right, what causes the war? You see a map here. It's all great. You got the orange, and that's Athens and their allies, and they're all facing against the Persian Empire. And in order to understand this, what causes this war? You got to understand. It's like a big old soap opera. Okay, first we got power. We got influence. We've got corruption. All that comes together, and it would make a great miniseries. But it's not. We only got a couple minutes. So let's talk about exactly what went down here. Okay, the Persians. You know the story about the Persian Wars, and the Persians got their butts kicked. But they still hate Athens. Particularly, they hate the Greeks because there's a long history there. You know about the Ionian revolt, and you know that Athens had to support their own people, and as a result, we had the 300, we had the sea battle, and the Persians got sent home packing. But they still hate these guys. So the Greek city-states, they form what's called the Delian League, okay, against these guys, the Persians. The Delian League is an alliance, and everybody has to go ahead and contribute. They all pay dues, okay? They are led by Athens because Athens is the biggest of the city-states, and they have the strongest navy, and they have ties across the Aegean. So they get everybody together on an island called Delos, and they have this meeting, and they agree. Everybody either pays dues in money to go ahead and finance all this, or they can give ships, and they can give people to go ahead and be the United Navy here. And the treasure's Athenian. Follow the money. You know where this goes. So Athens paid for their new walls with Delian League dues, and this makes all the other Greeks upset. And it makes them upset particularly because for the first 20 or 30 years, hey, it does a good job. They deal with the Persians, and the Persians just pretty much give up. They stay out of it. But once that threat kind of seems like it's gone down, now everybody's really mad, and Athens is skimming money. And they build this nice long wall and these beefed up city walls from their harbor to the city. They also wasted on some other buildings that the rest of the city-states are going, hey, man, we're paying our dues. Okay, war gets declared. Sparta's not having it. Influence is really important, and the Spartans were kind of the junior partner, and they were not as involved in the Delian League because, after all, they're a land power. So what happens in this war? Really only a few big events that are really huge here. Right away, Athens has some really bad luck. They get hit with a plague. We're not really sure which plague. There's a lot of different theories about it, but it kills about a third of the people in over 4 years. They stockpiled grain they expected when the Spartan army and their allies were on the march. They knew there'd be people going inside the walls, and they had that covered. In fact, their leader, a guy named Pericles, he dies of the plague too. Anyway, the Persians back the Spartans. Again, remember, they hate the Athenians. Athens loses a big naval battle. Okay, about 2/3 of their fleet is now gone. So some allies see the writing on the wall. They change sides. You can always build ships, but 30,000 trained naval rowers, that's hard to replace. Athens no longer owns the seas. That's not good news if you're Athenian. Eventually, Sparta blockades and starves Athens and forces them to surrender. So in the end, both sides are depleted and weak. They're in debt. Not such a good situation. And it sets the stage for something else that's going to follow, Alexander the Great. Here's a picture of showing you all the battle lines. Okay, three big events, but the reality is the plague played a big role in at the beginning to keep Athens from winning early on. That's your 3 minute story here on the Peloponnesian War.